on top of 75 Rockefeller Plaza, one of your latest projects. Can you tell us a little about some of the iconic projects that you're involved with right now?
Our view is around New York City, around Manhattan, there's more demand for office space, for 21st century office space, than there is supply. I mean, today we have the same amount of office space as we had 20 years ago. The average age of office space is 80 years old. And if you can find gems like a 75 Rock, like a 230 Park, a 237 Park, a Star at Lehigh, Pier 57, that are these great buildings, and repurpose them and respect their past, accentuate their past, but at the same time bring them to the point where they work for the 21st century. That, I think, is something that is going to be an extraordinary addition to the market for the tenants and for the community in terms of what New York is all about, the essence of New York. The most important ingredient is talent, and New York City is a magnet for talent from people around the world. And the numbers prove that out. If you look at our work stats at the highest level, record levels, population growth, record levels, tourism growth, record levels. And so as people come in, that attracts companies that want to take advantage of that talent. And we've seen that with the Googles, we've seen that with the YouTubes, with the Facebook, but we've seen that with the Cadillacs and the Johnsons & Johnsons, the more traditional companies that want to capture that talent to help build their businesses, capture their innovation, build their brand to sell their products throughout the world. So we purchased the Star at Lehigh in 2010 for just under $1 billion. Tenants in it like Martha Stewart, Tommy Hilfiger, Hugo Boss still came to that building, even though it didn't have good public transportation, even though frankly it was more treated like a Class B office building. Our premise was to re-energize the creativity that was taking place behind the doors of those tenants and bring it into the common area and make that building a magnet for more creative tenants that would want to go there.
What do you think the future of downtown is?
And when you have companies like Condé Nast and Group M downtown, there's this whole creative class of vibrancy and energy that's downtown. And over the next 12 to 24 months, as the World Trade Center site continues to finish its redevelopment and the transportation hub opens and the parks open and more of the construction fences come down, it's going to become more of a reality for everyone. This building was formerly leased by Time Warner, and Time Warner moved out in July of 2013. And with our 99-year lease, the lease didn't commence until Time Warner moved out. So we actually had the advantage of being able to go through all of our design work and order all of our equipment and supplies to be in a position that we can be moving as quickly as possible. And so this year, we did a full gutting of the building, and we're now in the process of actually putting the finishings in place. And by the spring of 2016, we'll be open. And the building's going to be extraordinary, and it's going to be a true 21st century modern interior in this iconic landmark building. One of the things that was a big challenge for us was going to landmarks because this has so many historic elements to it, and for the changes that we wanted to make to create better retail space, to create this dramatic lobby that works its way through from Rock Center on 51st Street through to 52nd Street, where you have the 21 Club, and a series of also outdoor spaces, terraces, so that people can actually not only get the benefit of being in the building, but really feel the Rockefeller Center presence and energy outside looking over the plaza, or on 52nd Street looking over the 21 Club.
The Wall Street Journal analyzed the numbers on the property, and they thought that based on their analysis, you would need $80 a square foot minimum rent in order to make the numbers work. Are you confident of getting that?
Well, listen, I don't know what the Wall Street Journal does their analysis, but from our standpoint, we're very confident that we're going to get it. I mean, our first discussions where we had proposals out started at a low end of $80 a square foot, and as we work our way up to the top of the building, we will be into the hundreds plus dollars a square foot with those sweeping views looking downtown and at Rock Center.
What makes New York such an attractive place for foreign investors, and your company in particular such an attractive place for foreign investors to invest with?
Right. So while we operate locally, we've capitalized ourselves globally. And so of the $5 billion we raised, probably 99% of that capital is non-US investors. And they're investors that are very sophisticated investors that typically would invest directly themselves into real estate. But when they look at New York and the competitive nature of this market and the scale of the projects and buildings within this city, they recognize it's a challenge to do. And so these investors have invested alongside us as their local partner to be able to go and source the types of transactions that we source, and then bring our expertise to create value in those assets. And so it's proven from an investor standpoint that if you're a long-term investor and you want to invest and have a safe haven, but also outsized type returns through cycles, New York is a place that should be on the top of your list.